Hi, this is Barry, San Diego Webcam, and I'm here to give everyone an update about the ongoing situation between the National Park Service and the Navy, having taken down our cameras at Cabrillo after 10 years that they've been there in a very public park, uh, showing Navy ships coming and going, cargo ships, cruise ships, really anything you can see along the waterfront. And also, I want to talk about what we're going to do from here. So I will touch briefly on how we got here for anybody who is not already familiar. Use the links down below in the description if you want complete information. And then we'll go into future plans. After 10 years and thousands of Navy ships, many Navy homecomings and deployments for Navy families, the U.S. Navy played the National Park Service into shutting off our cameras at Cabrillo after they embarrassed themselves in front of it. The reason they gave was force protection, but they have no problem with anyone going to Cabrillo and videotaping, live streaming, or taking pictures of anything they want, even things we would never show. Remember that point because it's going to be a key part of the future plan. Anyway, it's quite crazy, so again, if you are not familiar, then please use the link below and watch that video. So one of the newer reasons that the Park Service threw in was privately operated cameras on federal property. And I don't know why that's suddenly a problem after 10 years, but I offered to donate all the equipment to the Park Service just to get that out of the way. I figured, or I hoped, that by now this whole farce of forced security was done with because of everything that we've already demonstrated and everybody has said, and really anybody can see on the waterfront that maybe they were past that by now. But the email I got back from Tristan Stern, the acting superintendent at Cabrillo this week, unfortunately says otherwise. He says that still wouldn't alleviate the Navy concerns. You can read it all right there. I want to thank everybody who has reached out and continues to reach out. I know you've been calling and flooding their email boxes, even reaching out to your U.S. senators and representatives, and we need to keep that up. We need to keep the pressure up. I know PBS is airing a feature about the whole situation on Wednesday. I'm not sure. I think that might be just in San Diego, but I believe it's also going to be on the PBS radio, perhaps nationally. We really need to demonstrate that this is government censorship, and we're going to have no part of it. So please continue reaching out. Thank you to everybody who did, and will continue to do so. Now, the fact of the matter is the National Park Service has all the control. So I've been trying to work to schedule the removal. Unfortunately, I know you haven't heard from me. I got sick, and one of our key volunteers had a tragedy in his family, unfortunately. So things have been delayed, but we are working to schedule the removal of the equipment from there. But, you know, even after the equipment is removed, we can always go back. So we always want to keep reaching out and trying. But really, in order to get our views back, we have to take that power back. There are a couple of different ways we're going to do this, and I'm going to touch on each of them. The last one is by far my favorite. I'm sure you're going to love it. But first, I want to announce that a generous donor has once again donated to upgrade our camera on Tom Ham's Lighthouse facing the south. This is the one that faces back towards the channel entrance just before that turn. And it's going to be, right now it's a standard definition camera. It's upgrading to 4K with a massive zoom. So that's going to get us some of it back, and it's going to be great being able to see those boats coming in and making that turn again. This is going to be the Angel Cam 2. They're donating it in memory of somebody they lost and someone who really would appreciate these views. A very generous donation, and I thank them very much for their support. I also want to announce that we have secured another location further to the south of Shelter Island that will show the channel entrance, some of the Coronado Islands, some of the jetty. But this part is really cool. I was going to keep it a surprise to the end, but I think it's going to be big news in some of the circles that follow different types of webcams. There is an osprey nest on the south end of Shelter Island, and it's got 2 ospreys. Look at this footage. This footage I shot from my camera on my phone, so it doesn't do justice to the type of cameras that we're going to set up. But one of the new cameras coming up is going to be parked on this nest in 4K. Nice zoom. You can see there's a little baby in there, which I think is really cool. So that's one of the new cameras going up to replace the one that we lost, in addition to 2 others at this location. One also pan tilt zoom to show the channel entrance, and then another one on the harbor side of Shelter Island, facing towards like the Kellogg's area and the docks and the marinas there. That's going to take a little bit to get set up. It's actually a big effort. There's a lot involved in setting up another little network to get these all connected, but it's coming. The new spot down there on Shelter Island is great, but the problem we have with replacing a spot like Cabrillo is that Cabrillo has almost 360-degree views. So we can't just pick up a camera and move it somewhere else and expect to get the same view, obviously. We're going to need to set up many more cameras, and that's part of the plan here. I want to set up cameras in places like here, and here. And here. And here. Many more cameras. So you get the idea. We also have a new spot almost secured. There's a little more work to get involved. It's going to show a view out towards the ocean. This one's actually over an ocean beach. And take a look at this view. You can see the Ocean Beach Pier all the way down to the cliffs. And that's a little Coast Guard cutter out there. So we're working all these spots, but really we need to set up many more cameras all around the bay in order to get these views back. And so that's going to be part of the plan. But this next part is my favorite. I want to make anybody who wants to be a San Diego webcam into a San Diego webcam. And what I mean by that is we're going to publish a mobile app. We're going to call it the Ranger, after the NPS Ranger who was played by the Navy, who really started this project. And by using the app, anybody will be able to send us a feed right to our switcher that we can then pop on. So, especially if you're down at Cabrillo, I really want to kick these off. And I know we have a number of viewers and supporters who are at Cabrillo all the time. And to really make sure that we have cameras all over that park, I'm going to give the first 100 people who use the new mobile app to send us a video feed that we actually use, a Cabrillo annual pass to really kick those off. And we'll start setting up award shows maybe once a year, maybe in April, sort of on the anniversary of all this. And we're going to have a special category for video feeds coming from Cabrillo National Monument, just to make sure they keep going. So they might be taking down 2 cameras at Cabrillo, but what they're going to end up getting is hundreds more. But really, these will be coming from all over the county. I also need to talk briefly about force protection. This whole idea of force protection, I get what they're saying, and it's a serious and legitimate topic, but the thought that the San Diego webcam in any way endangers the forces is absolutely absurd. We do so much to make sure that nothing we show will endanger our forces, but the view from Cabrillo looking down on that base down below, that made it very easy to mask out these things. And I just want to point out, if they're watching, they're making it more difficult now, because I won't be able to black out, things like our attack submarines, because there will now be boats in front of them. And if I was to do that, we'd be blacking out the boat. Now, I get it. These are things you can see from anywhere along the waterfront, and really, why are we blacking out? That's kind of silly. I thought it was just good common sense. But that's no longer an option now, because they took that camera away for security. But there are still things we do electronically, and we will continue to do. But the black box over the subbase, it's not going to be possible anymore. So a couple of things I need to point out. I don't have all of these areas secured. I've got the one down on the south end of Sharpsville Island secured. The one over in Ocean Beach looks like we've got a pretty good shot. The other ones are not all secured. But I also want you to know, I've never really had difficulty securing spots for cameras. The problem with growth has always been getting the equipment beforehand, so we had it to go set up. And it's going to take funds to do this. We're going to have to raise funds. And so I have set up a GoFundMe to accomplish that. And I hope that we can generate some support. New cameras will come up pretty quickly. We already have a mature wireless infrastructure riding over San Diego Bay. So to attach new cameras to that, it's not that difficult. So they should start coming up as fast as we can raise funds. The Ranger app, give it about 3 months, 4 months maybe. I've already started the architecture on that. This is my domain now. They have no chance in this. This is going to get done, and we're going to have people all over that park. We're even going to make t-shirts that says, "I am a San Diego webcam." And they can just smile at them and say hello, because there will be nothing they can do to turn off these cameras. It's now up to us. Thank you for your support.